sold off right away from 65 all the way down to 45. I was not in long at this time after the open. So I started getting in some starter long around the 52s, and I started adding after I saw at least some small strength to start to bounce. I was using both a 5-minute and a 2-minute chart as like a confirmation and execution. So you can see I started loaning a little bit more once it started bouncing $46. I even added on the way up. My ultimate price target was $60 up here. I thought it was gonna at least test this pre-market level here, $60. Oh, definitely over VWAP. But you can see this time the stock only bounced to like $56. I sold some on the way up, but re-added back some, thinking we're finally gonna squeeze. Nope, didn't happen. This time the buying pressure was just not as strong as 2021. So you can see, even though I accumulated some decent average, with all these ads, my average was still around the $50 range. I was looking for at least a breakout to 60. We didn't get it. So you can see once I kind of re-added back, sold some, re-added back some, sold some, I kind of decided, you know what, it's time to bail. So I started bailing here. Once the stock started breaking down, bounced a little bit, I retried once more at $51, thinking that we're finally gonna form a higher low after the midday consolidation around 11:30, 12 o'clock. A lot of times after we see the reversal back to over VWAP, and potentially I can swing this thing once it's over VWAP after 11 o'clock and consolidate for higher, like what we saw in 2021. But nope, didn't happen. So you can see I did give back some profit around here, and the stock later tanked to $35, which I was not involved. I did try to scalp it a little bit here. Got long again, 42s. Ended up breaking that even on that trade, because you can see I'm still pretty long biased. Even at the end of the day, thinking that we can see a reversal to reclaim VWAP, but you can see that move didn't happen until after hours, when the stock, reclaimed 42s into 50s at close, and after hours 57, but never touched $60 again after that initial morning dump. So that was my trade on the long side, but I also shorted the stock as well, even though I didn't do as well on the short side, just because I think 2021, the meme stock squeeze really traumatized a lot of short sellers. I did not get squeezed that much. That I don't remember. But I do remember that I definitely made more money on the long side. The short side, I think I traded both sides, but ultimately I was always better at the long side. So GameStop, this thing, I really had thought, at least we're gonna retest that $70, at least $60 one more time. That was the entry I was kind of waiting for the short. So when I'm shorting like below VWAP, I reduce my size, just because a lot of times shorting below VWAP is not the best idea. So you can see, yes, I did play some shorts, but I'm always pretty conservative with sizing and where I take my profit. So I just short some here, cover some, re-shorted some. You can see I covered it all, and then missing the big dump from $48 all the way to like 38. So I didn't get that. So I did trade the short side. So yeah, I didn't do as well on the short side, just because I really keep on thinking that the stock was gonna reclaim and squeeze again, and I don't want to get squeezed. It's not fun. So the reason I did start shorting is because like midday, once again, number one, we could not break above VWAP to that $60 area I was looking at earlier from my long positions. And number two, volume slowly decreased midday. Like if you look at it, after around 11 o'clock, on the 5-minute, the volume is definitely not as strong as you had in the open. So midday, you have this kind of volume, and that's where you kind of like cracked on low volume back to $34. So, and also if you zoom out on the intraday chart for GME, if you zoom out in the last couple of days, and then you draw a trend line from the first day it gapped up, you can see that this huge trend line was broken once it kind of was unable to hold VWAP, reclaim VWAP, and continue that trend higher. So around here midday, that's when the trend line is broken, and then the stock sold off. So add into that